Good morning. This is Dr. David A. Padgett. This is Weather and Climate, Geography 3500, spring semester 2021. Today is March 16th. So I'm going to share my screen. Um, so today is going to start off with just some basic housekeeping. And then we're going to I might talk about or give you some feedback on some of the assignments that have been turned in, perhaps. And then I'm going to give you the assignment for this week. Um, and then that'll be it. So, uh, first, housekeeping item number one. This week, if you have noticed, I'm sure you all have noticed that, or you do know by now, that this week is quote unquote spring break. However, um, spring break, as you can see, is only 2 days. It's March 18th and the 19th. So that's spring break. So we will not have a formal class meeting on Thursday. Um, However, you will have an assignment, but it won't be uh, a tough assignment on the level of the midterm exam. Speaking of which, I will make every effort to have the midterm exam graded by next Tuesday. So just look forward to that. Speaking of the midterm exam, as it relates to your midterm grade, those are your midterm grade does not include the midterm exam. However, if you notice that if you go into let me go to student view and go to assessment and grades, you should have visible everything that has been graded thus far this semester. So I believe you've had 6 assignments thus far. I have graded all those. Have not yet graded your midterm exam, and I may or may not have graded some of your article reviews, but you should have enough assessment completed that you should have a good idea of where you stand, or really you should have a really good idea of what your midterm grade is based upon. Now, your midterm grade is a letter grade um, that you can get by going to my TSU. Now, I don't have a student view page for my TSU, so you just have to go into my TSU and navigate it to where you'll see your midterm grade. If you have any questions after you've seen your graded work and the midterm grade, if you have any questions about why you got the midterm grade that you got, please reach out to me, let me know, and I will answer those questions for you. Okay, so for this week, I am going to post article review 5. So that will be due next Tuesday. So that will be one of the assignments. So you'll still have an article review assignment due as usual. And that will be due next Tuesday night, as you can see. I noticed in the Dropbox that a lot of missing article reviews. Try to get them done because they do count as a substantial portion of your grade. And so here's article review 5 there. Just have to make it visible, and it should be visible to you in the calendar. Article review 4 is due tonight, 11:30 p.m. I think I've already discussed what is expected for the article reviews in previous lectures. So please, if you're listening to this recording, do the article reviews. I'll go to the syllabus once again. And if you notice, the article reviews are a significant portion of your grade. So the article reviews essentially count as 1/7 of your grade. So do not fail to do them. Those article reviews are probably going to be the easiest points you get in this class if the midterm exam was any indication. Okay, so going to make one small update here before I give you your next assignment. Let's see here. So I'm just going to go here and see. So you're not going to have a group term paper. This will be the hometown climate paper and oral presentation. And so I'm going to update that in your syllabus as you watch right now. And so just be aware of that. I'm going to change this file now. And so I'm going to talk about the next assignment that is related to what I just did in a minute. Okay, so your assignment for this week will be to write your first draft, to write the first draft of the term paper. And so now that we have the new version of the syllabus, the instructions for your term paper are in the syllabus. So the term paper is the hometown climate data analysis term paper, and you have already, you all have already completed, PowerPoints for your hometown city weather and climate. And so, so whatever city you used for this assignment is the same city that you should use for the term paper assignment, okay? Not the city from the midterm exam. Okay, the city used from the midterm exam was specifically for the midterm exam. This paper is based upon what you did for this assignment. And so I'm just going to grab a PowerPoint here and very quickly. So this is Kaylee Rhodes' PowerPoint. And so I'm just going to show you how you can use, to some degree, the material that you entered into the PowerPoint. Well, maybe not, maybe perhaps not this one. I'm going to stop my share and pause the recording for just a second. Okay, so I've pulled up Garrett Ross's PowerPoint presentation, and so he has the 5-day forecast. But for the purposes of your term paper, you really want to expand upon the climate-related data. And so if you notice at section 2 is the area description. So you will basically give a few paragraphs on the specific facts about the city. What's the general land use? What's the population? What's the terrain? What's the elevation? Hydrology. What are the major surface? What are the major surface water bodies? What are the soils like? Vegetation. Is it a green city? Is there what kind of trees? What kind of vegetation is there? And you can look that up online. Obviously, you should include maps and photographs of pertinent features. Again, let me remind you, do not write this paper to me. You're writing it to a general audience. Don't ask me, oh, Dr. Padgett, how many words does this paper have to be? Look, there's no need to hold back on how much you write, because we're not ever going to print these out, at least not right now. So normally we would have a limit on words or what have you, because of the fact that we wanted to preserve paper. That's not the case here. The whole purpose of this assignment is so that you get some idea of what is expected in terms of content on this paper. Okay, so it's very important that you complete this step. So the objective will be for you to complete sections 2 and 3 of your term paper. That's the assignment for this week. And again, part of the reason that I had you do this assignment with the PowerPoint was for you to at least take a look at some of the qualitative data associated with your cities. Let's go into the other course here. Stop my share for just a second. Oops. Let's see. And go back to my screen share. And okay, so let's look at Rawls's, Jacob Rawls's PowerPoint. So good. He's got this definition of climate in his PowerPoint and different climate regions. Then he gets into Nashville. And so these are the types, this is the type of information that you should get in terms of the climate of your city. But obviously you need to flesh it out with a lot more text. Let's see. So here is here's another PowerPoint, and this is a good map. This is a very good map. Anything you can find like this, you should include in your term papers. So here's a map of Memphis with average annual rainfall by I don't know what kind of municipal districts these are. These might be cities within the Memphis region, and we get into Mississippi. Here's Olive Branch, South Haven, and then here's Memphis. Maybe these are Shelby County municipalities. But this is a very good example of what you should have in this second, third part of the paper, the climate description. And so you're really taking a qualitative look at that. I have provided some data sources for you. If you go to the online weather resources, but there's also climate resources here. Let's see, actually, see, that was midterm week. Let me find this data set for you all. Okay, it must be at the very first week or earlier in the course. Okay, so some of these, I'm looking for a very specific resource. The interactive Kirpin climate map might be of use for you here, but we'll get into that more specifically later. But you can, in completing the second portion of the assignment, I'm going to just pause the recording here for a minute. Feel free to use some of the resources that I've already made available in the course, such as the average sunny days per year. I think under the week 6, you have the distribution of thunderstorms and tornadoes, tornado frequency, all of the thunderstorm days per year, so on and so forth. Those are all maps that represent longer term average data over time, which is what really is the climate. So those are for you to use at your disposal. Okay, so I'm going to add this assignment. This would be assignment 6. Hometown climate analysis term paper draft 1. Complete a draft of sections 2 and 3 of the hometown climate analysis term paper. And so, so I've taken the section descriptions right from the syllabus, so you don't have to go back and forth. And so this will be due next Tuesday. And this assignment is, the goal of this assignment is to get you moving along in completing the term paper and not procrastinate. So we'll get the first 2 sections out of the way here. So I will be asking for other drafts later on in the course. And I'm going to show you, just for your own edification, where we are with this, where we're going with the term paper. So you will complete, hopefully, do as much as you can with these 2 sections. I'll give you some feedback. Now, the climate graphs, we're going to work through those in class. We're going to use Excel to create the climate graphs for your cities, so you don't have to worry about having to do that outside of class. But you will have to include the methodology in your term paper. That's very important. Next, we'll do the Kirpin climate classification for each city. We'll do that in class. And then your next steps will be to analyze the climate graphs and the climate classifications. We'll talk about climate controls, and then of course a discussion, and then finally your conclusion. And I will walk you through that. And then of course you will either present a live presentation of your term paper or recorded presentation by the end of the class. So that the assignment includes the paper and the presentation. And so now the summary, even though it comes first in the paper, you will write that last. So the summary is a summary of the entire paper. So of course you can't write the summary until you write the whole paper, but it appears first. And I'll talk about that in greater detail later on. So okay, so I see that this should be assignment 7. Sorry about that. So you should be hopefully well on your way to successfully getting this term paper done. It's procrastination proof, hopefully. So if you notice, oops, I probably should just stay in the honors section. I usually work in the other section, but I was in the honors section today. So if you notice, you have, well, you will have article review 5 due next week, article review 4 due tonight, and the first draft of the term paper will be due next week, but it'll only be sections 2 and 3. If you have any questions about either of those, let me know. I will do all I can to get your midterm exams graded before next Tuesday. Does anyone have any questions at this time? Okay, so again, we will not be having a live meeting on Thursday. Continue to work on your term paper draft. If you have any questions about it, please let me know immediately. So I'm going to stop the recording here.